generation has unprecedented access to digital media and technologies. Having grown up as digital natives, girls are part of the digital generation, and they have proven they are more than ready to lead the digital transformation. However, there are potential risks associated with the use of social media and digital technology, which can lead to physical and mental status empowerment in children, including depression, anxiety, and cyber violence. Children's safety are at risk, including privacy and well-being, further magnifying threats and harms that many children already face offline. This makes already vulnerable children more susceptible to harm. Experts say this is leading to digital gender divide, a significant issue that affects girls' and women's ability to benefit from the opportunities offered by the digital transformation and economy. Therefore, it is essential to take into account the diverse digital realities that girls face and the ways in which this can deepen the gender divide around connectivity, skills, and online safety. Tackling risk factors and inclusivity measures that can help bridge the digital gender divide for the girl child is sacrosanct. Fundamentally, girls' relatively lower educational enrollment in disciplines that will allow them perform well in a digital world such as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as information and communication technologies, is a challenge. Today, we're beaming our searchlight on digital generation, identifying risk factors and deepening inclusivity for the girl child. Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. I'm Lydia Sampson. Now, navigating the ever-digitalizing world requires more than just basic digital skills. The 21st century skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity are also essential. Our first report by Stephen Nwokolu is looking at the many human setbacks forced on the girl child due to gender biases, the vulnerability of the girl child, both physical and online. How the internet has unfortunately become a platform for cyberbullying, attacks, and violence against them will be examined. The question is, should the girl child shy away due to these and other risk factors? Stephen found some answers.
Digital technology refers to digital devices and enormous potentialities in the deployment of artificial intelligence that have stormed the world with its value chains. It is also the application of devices, systems, and resources that help create, store, and manage data and information. The importance of digital technology cannot be overemphasized, as today, digital technology is linked to every aspect of life, and it also revolves around the dissemination of information using computers, smartphones, amongst other devices to process data and information.
A child that stays with the mother learns to develop confidence. There are certain things, because when a woman works from home, he takes care of the child, oversees the food they eat, and at the same time earn money. So I'm thinking that they should be giving free hand, yes, to operate, not restricting women to certain job. And mark you, the subject they are teaching them in school have influence on this technology. They should do it at a tutelage level so that they will have interest in maths, science, and technology. Like in India, if a child comes to school for the first time, what they will do, they will bring a film where they will see their parents working, toiling, suffering. So with that mindset, they will now talk to them on skill acquisition, whether they will want to continue this part of life their parents are toiling. They will show them their hand blistered and all the rest of them, because they are working so hard to make sure they are well taken care of.
From time immemorial, we have been witnessing how the girl child, women in particular, are being discriminated. You see in some homes, they'll say the girl should hold on, let her brother finish school first before she can go, if the family say have the resources. So we are still witnessing that, but thanks to the deliberate effort that is being made, we call it STEM, science, engineering, mathematics, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that is STEM, which is a deliberate attempt to ensure that the girl child have access to this field that were somehow exclusively reserved for men. We didn't have a lot of girls reading engineering. They see them as macho women. The girl child read engineering, she read medicine, she reads architecture. She even go as far as reading even marine engineering. But a lot needs to be done. But we thank God for where we are today.
Similarly, most businesses, both physical and online, are harnessing the social media in the promotion of products and services to enhance their customers' database and demands. And the only digitally educated persons can fit into this digital transformation, which has become an important requirement for all.
In the schools, when you enlighten them on the need for technology and devices being used, because that now the world of today is all about technology. You understand? Instead of you traveling to Lagos, you can make a call and then talk to the person you are going to see in Lagos. It makes life easier for you. It makes things so. I don't think there should be any form of discrimination from male or female, girl child, male child, whatever. Everybody should benefit from it, and that is what the world is right now. We're in the digital age, so we should be giving those. There should be the opportunity should be cut across.
We must incentivize girl child's education vis-a-vis the digital technology. We have to have a way of making it attractive to the girl child. By having, for example, those who are good among those adults, middle adults, who are into this thing, should talk to the girls also and tell them the benefits, the importance of this digital age. When you look around this place, you discover that it's like a man world, a man's world. So it ought not to be. We need to practically, and conscientiously, intentionally look at this issue. It is not what we pay lip service to. Those who are benefiting should educate us.
Rape is seen as the diminution of the basic human rights of a woman because it violates her fundamental right to live a life with dignity. The power equation in our society is tilted in the favor of men. It is not made to believe that in Nigeria, education is a privilege to the women because not all of them have access to it. Some people in Nigeria see education as a commodity. 40% of girls aged 9 to 12 in northern Nigeria, for a start, have never been to school. 1 in 3 women and girls experience physical and sexual violence in their lifetime. Over 9.5 Nigerian girls are not in school. Worldwide, almost 750 million women and girls alive today were married before their 18th birthday. 1 in 2 women killed worldwide were killed by their partners or family in 2017. 71% of all human trafficking victims worldwide are women and girls.
As the world increasingly navigates towards digital transformation in the various fields of human endeavors, women and the girl child face barriers of equal access to digital applications. Statistics shows that men and boys are 4 times more likely to be ICT compliant than the women or the girl child, with an estimated 327 million fewer women than men using smartphones and having access to internet.
Well, there's still a couple of areas where even allowing the girl child to have a normal education is still a problem. Okay, don't forget that apart from the funding that is required for the development of a girl child, there are other militating factors. There are violence more rampant now than before. You see in Nigeria we have the politically motivated violence. You have the insurgency. You have the bandits. So there are quite a number of problems, and I think it's more of a global problem.
The commemoration of the International Day for the Girl Child highlighted issues affecting women and the girl child.
We should create the needed awareness and be able to make these things accessible to the girl child. If the girl child is not exposed to the necessary information they need, then it's not possible for that child to be abreast with what is happening within the environment. So accessibility is very, very important. And then also affordability. Because if you have to have technology that is accessible, then it has to be affordable. Because you know Nigeria is 80% of the population are living below poverty. So even to recharge your phone is a problem for some people. So digital information should be made affordable. You know, lowering the tariffs on access to information, access to internet, access to mobile communications, and the rest of them.
Our respondents are emphatic that gender equality is not just only a fundamental human right, but a keystone for a prosperous modern economy.
One of the major risk factors is the fact that our girls could be exposed to materials that ordinarily they should be exposed to. And that brings us to control. If we expose them, how are we sure that what they are assessing are things that will even give them the well-being, will give them everything that they need to become the responsible women that we want them to be. So government has a role to play, parents have a role to play, the community have a role to play, schools in particular have a role to play, and I'm happy most schools are going out of their way to ensure that they educate parents on how to control their children's access to information on the internet. So the advantages are more, but we have little disadvantages that are not beyond our control if only we pay attention to what we expose them to.
They urged parents, guardians, policymakers, and government to sanitize and ensure regulation of the digital space to guide against attacks of the female gender.
The eventual consequences of this is an underutilization of half of our population. It means that we are abandoning half of our population and using only half. And that will not be good for our development. Having said that, I want to pledge that for the 4 years I'm going to be here by the grace of God as a deputy speaker, I'm going to adopt female student vanguard for girls' child education in Nigeria as one of my pet projects. My office is going to partner with you and my foundation known as Benjamin Carlo Foundation.
You should not retrieve our people, our children from using this device. But there are also some devices that you connect to the children, that whatever they are using at home, or whether you are around, whether you are not around, you will be watching, they are monitoring them, what they are doing.
This, they insist, is critical to the ultimate support for the implementation of the 2030 agenda towards the sustainable development of the countries of the world.
Next on our outlook, Thomas Egbetere examined factors limiting the girl child, especially hurdles to access, affordability, and other inherent social cultural norms that curtails women and girls. Thomas also looked at concrete policy concerns and actions needed to foster women and girls' full participation and inclusion in the digital economy. Thomas Egbetere, over to you.
Over the years, the girl child has been tolerated in most families because they are seen and treated as persons with less respect, therefore accorded less respect and value compared to the boy child, who is seen in most cases as the heir apparent, treated as superior to the girl child, leading to the confinement of the girl child to the kitchen or household chores. While the narrative is changing, with girls emerging from the stereotype to carving a niche for themselves, to a large extent it has not been eradicated but reduced as a result of persistent advocacies and outcry on the need to eliminate discriminations between the boy and girl child, economic as well as socio-political privileges. Experts enumerated some of the inherent biases, socio-cultural norms that have been standing as impediments to the development of the girl child. They emphasize the need for greater and continuous advocacy and sensitization on the education of the girl child.
When you educate the girl child, you are educating the entire community. Our children will be well educated, they will be well trained, rather than educating just a man. It's a famous statement in the educational cycle.
There are a lot of impediments that works against them. But the new dimension shows that the girl child, in fact, will stand out as the biggest social security. A girl child that is properly educated will be the one that will take care of the family. The boys, they are busy doing some other violent and wrong things, but the girl child will remain.
So I'll call them the conventional factors, which revolve around security, that is tradition, religion, poverty, illiteracy, early marriage, um, and so much poverty and so many other issues, just around these usual ones. For instance, when you talk about tradition, traditionally in some parts of the country, um, the girl child is viewed as somebody who is going to leave the family and is going to get married into another family, and that the boys are the ones that should be taken care of because they will keep the family name and they will be there for the family, so there's less importance given to girl child education. In most cases, some families just believe that the girl child cannot go further, especially when things are not moving on well. They prefer to take care of the boy because they believe he will retain the name of the family, etc., etc. So the girl child traditionally was left behind to do the farm work and other things while the boys go to school and become who they want to be.
Majority of the problems of the girl child in Nigeria and Africa as an extension is cultural. We have had this system over the decade, over the years, where patriarchal has been the way to go. We've had the upbringing of the fact that a girl will go to her husband's house and all you need to learn is how to do the house chores, how to be a good wife, how to keep quiet, how not to be ambitious. Okay, so for example, I grew up in a family of so many guys, so many men, and I recall that all the boys will be asked to go away, and I will be asked to sweep the compound, sweep all the rooms. Even the boys will scatter their room, I will be made to arrange their room for them because I'm supposed to be the girl that will go and do the same thing when I get to my husband's house.
Like where I'm from, they tell you that it's better for your brother to go to school than the girl. So the girl is supposed to be a helpmate, and so it's easier for them to be married off instead of giving them the opportunity. Instead of giving them the opportunity to give them the playing field like they would allow the boy child and all of that. And it also come back to home. You see how, as a parent, we always capitalize on what the girl does. If she goes out, the parents are always hard on the girls. And then we forget the boys.
The need for equal opportunity, participation, and inclusion to harness positive benefits from digital technology, the internet, the digital economy, they say must be on the front burner. Others, however, caution that proper supervision and monitoring to prevent the exploitation of the girl child and other younger users of digital devices is key.
The other area I want us to look at also is the ability of the girl child to leverage on modern technology. That's information technology, AI, artificial intelligence, and so on. Women should actually be given a chance in the cyber space because they are as educated as the men now. It helps us in our businesses, in running the home, economic empowerment, and all sorts. And we are trying to see how we can help the young girls not to believe that the cyberspace is just for TikTok, internet, Netflix, and others. And you can actually read, you can actually learn, you can actually empower yourself from the internet.
For example, you posted your picture on social media and you just want to feel good with yourself, and you start calling them different names and all of that. It's really not good. A lot of Nigerian women face bullying online.
We have a special role to play to ensure that their exposure to dangerous material, exposure to toxic images, and so on is controlled, and that we fulfill our duty to create
responsible parents of tomorrow.
Experts also urge government, international community, and other relevant agencies to improve maternal health care and parenting support for adolescent mothers, provide digital and life skill training, support services, and cyber violence prevention knowledge programs, as well as necessary empowerment that will equip and help the girl child in achieving her full potential.
And another factor is the good example by the female products in the universities, in the secondary schools, and so on. They still see them. You can see the women professors we have today. The way they dress decently, they are religiously decent, and they practice their religion, nothing detached. So all these things, we're showing them as examples.
So if every family will educate one girl child, that means that family will have a social insurance forever. They are there to take care of the children. They are there to nurture the grandchildren. They are there to protect while you are out there in the sun. While you are out there, they are the protectors. So if you don't educate them, it's at your own peril.
Experts noted that with the future workforce projected to be more structured towards science and technology, engineering and mathematics, and social entrepreneurship, over 90% of jobs worldwide having these components, options, they say, remains limited for some traditions that may still limit the girl child excelling in the seemingly male-dominated fields. They called for deliberate policies and efforts by key players to ensure that their girls and women are encouraged to venture into these professions. They opine that that is only when the girl child's potentials can be truly harnessed.
Educating the girl child is like increasing the gross domestic product of the country. Yeah, because there's every likelihood that when she's educated, that if she's educated, she will be enrolled in the formal sector. And what she does will automatically contribute to the gross domestic product of that country.
The need for implementation of more girl child-friendly policies by government cutting across all disciplines to fast-track sustainable development and growth of the girl child, they say, is sacrosanct.
So I think they should just allow all of these innovations that the women have inside of them for it to come out, to shine to the world, and then give us a level playground, and let's see how that goes.
If we don't invest the girl child today, we can't expect to have a better society tomorrow. So it's important for parents to start investing in the right of the girl child by sending them to school. And it's important to train them properly, equally like the boys.
They are emphatic that the fight against all forms of discrimination against the girl child must be won by galvanizing efforts until the right of the girl child is upheld and genuine freedom and a safe haven is provided to protect girl childs both physically and online from sexual exploitation and all forms of discrimination, as well as stereotypes, in addition to numerous struggles faced by girls.
And another thing we might do out of the box also is we need to apply specific methods for specific areas. For instance, when you go to the northern region, where we have already established almajiri schools, and the community already allows the girl child to go to those schools. You see the girl child attending the Quranic school. Why don't we encompass this basic learning into that almajiri school, so that in an attempt at going to learn that, she will as well benefit from the basic, education that she requires in terms of numeracy, So this has to be done in collaboration with our religious leaders.
They say, although there is noticeable change and improvement, many girls are still vulnerable and subjected to horrific practices. They are unanimous that until every girl child is safe and provided with the needed platform to realize her full potentials, discrimination and injustice will continue to clog the wheel of their progress, because girls of today are the mothers of tomorrow who play critical roles in shaping the world.
Participation in the digital age means having conducive digital environment for citizens to migrate from analog to digital. Believe me, I know what that means. I was once known as an analog reporter, but now I am proud to say I have gone digital completely. Well, that's a story for another day. In conclusion, key players believe bridging the digital gender divide requires focused investment and greater cooperation to protect children from the harms associated with a more connected world, as opportunities of digital age meant to benefit every child are harnessed. To this effect, it is agreed that concrete policy actions are needed to foster women and girls' full participation and inclusion in the digital economy by addressing stereotypes and social norms that lead to discrimination. The world must ensure that every girl counts in the digital generation. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you next week as we focus on another issue on 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. I'm Lydia Sams.